The thing that's the least sexy to talk about is the thing that's going to make you successful. And it has nothing to do with funnels or Facebook ads or Instagram following or anything. It has everything to do with what goes on in here. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Well, hello there. I am Lori Kennedy, founder of the Wellness Business Hub. And this is the Wellness Business Hub channel for practitioners and coaches who are just getting started and want to launch their online coaching program and their online coaching business online. So if that is you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring or click that bell so that you get notified every time we post a new video. So this is going to be a little bit of a different video today. As you can see, there is a box and nothing behind me. I am in the middle of a move, and I wanted to make sure that I recorded this training for you because this video is one of the reasons that I am where I am. And I still have pinch me moments where I'm thinking about, is this real? Like, is this my life? Like, what is happening? And I can credit my success to a lot of the mindset work and the self-identity work. I don't like to say personal development because I feel like that's a catchphrase. It's a lot of self-identity work. It's a lot of mindset work. It's a lot of reprogramming, and I can talk strategy with you all day long, every day. We can map your funnels. I can help you write, high performing ad copy, all of that good stuff. I can absolutely do. And I love to do it. And at the same time, I've worked with enough practitioners and coaches at all levels who are just getting started online, who are making over 7 figures in their online coaching programs, enrolling 30 plus clients a month with teams. I've, coached the range of them all. And I can say that the determining factor isn't your ad copy. I mean, yes, it's a contributing factor, of course, but the determining factor is your self-identity and your mindset. And so what I wanted to share with you today are 7 mindsets that I see successful online coaches and business owners have. And I know that I have worked really hard to cultivate these mindsets as well. So if you are feeling like you are doing everything and nothing is working, let's go take a look in the mirror. Let's go take a look at your identity and the language that you're using every single day. If you are making statements versus asking questions. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Number 1, personal responsibility. This is everything. This is to the degree that it tells me everything that I need to know about you. If we're having a conversation, we're in a coaching call, and you say, they didn't blah, blah, blah. It didn't work for me. I was scammed. They don't support me. And if you didn't deliver on blah, blah, blah. If everything is external, that tells me that you're going to have a hard time growing your coaching business because the buck stops with you. You are the business owner. And when we don't take personal responsibility over everything, we can't make it better. We literally are giving away our power. When we say they didn't do this and they wouldn't this and they wouldn't that, versus here's the situation, I need a solution. Right? There's a big difference between coming to the table with, here's my frustration, here's the situation. I need a solution. I don't know what that would be, but I need a solution. Can you help me? That's very different than pointing the finger. And so when we take personal responsibility, we come from this place of taking ownership and taking responsibility over the outcomes that we want to have. We might not know how we're going to get the outcome, but we're certainly not giving away the power to someone else and pointing the finger, because again, the buck stops with you, right? It's your business and it's your coaching program. And we really, the people that have gone to 6 figures and 7 figures, even when they make mistakes, and they do, we actually don't call them mistakes. We call them not knowings, because you didn't know and you're going so fast and your business is growing so fast that you didn't know. It's not even a mistake. You genuinely didn't know. And so we call them not knowings. And when you make a not knowing, when you make a mistake, you can take responsibility for it and say, you know what, I really messed that up and I'm going to learn from it. So success trait number 1 is personal responsibility, radical personal responsibility. Even when the other person is truly at fault and they are taking responsibility, you can still take ownership over the experience, right? You can still take responsibility for how you show up in that experience. Radical responsibility. All right. Number 2, extract value from all scenarios. So this is sort of a play off number 1, but it's a really good mindset to have. Nothing is a waste. Nothing, not a single thing is a waste. Even if you paid for a platform and you didn't use it, it's not a waste, because that is a lesson that you can't make snap decisions anymore. You need to investigate what you are investing in. So how are you going to show up in every scenario where you are extracting value, right? Where you are learning from the experience, where you are watching how people respond. There was a situation in the Zero to Clients coaching program where there was unhappy clients, and that's okay. Part of the territory, right? We're all going to have businesses that have unhappy clients. And so we had a situation and I had to step in and, handle the situation. And I wanted it to be a learning experience for everyone. So I didn't necessarily handle it privately, but I handled it pretty publicly in a way that everyone can gain value, because I knew that there was upset people. I knew that, anyway, there was a lot of feelings. Let's just say there was a lot of feelings. And I wanted everybody to get value out of the experience versus just being distracted by drama. And so I think if we approach every scenario, even the ones that are difficult, even the ones that are filled with shame, even the ones that are filled with vulnerability, if we can approach every situation, every scenario that we're in with, how am I going to get value from this to become a better person, then nothing is a waste. You didn't get burned. It was just not the experience you expected, right? But you still got value from that experience, because now you know how to better vet future investments. You can extract value in all scenarios. Number 3, keep promises to yourself. So this is why I'm filming this video with, moving day, with my moving day face on in my office that now has nothing. And I, was like, oh, should I move my computer? I'm like, nope, we're just going to roll with this, because this is real life. And I don't break promises to myself. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm certain that there are times where I break promises to myself. Like when I say that I'm not going to eat the Doritos and then I eat the Doritos. But in circumstances like this, I made a commitment to release a video on YouTube every Thursday. And that is what I'm going to do. And so I could have filmed it ahead of time. I probably should have filmed it yesterday when my office looked great. But you know what? I couldn't. I didn't have capacity to film this yesterday. I was like, we're just going to roll with it. And so now, right, I'm not breaking a promise to myself. So I think one of the things that I see all the time and that I coach my clients on all the time is priorities. It's priorities and promises, right? When we break promises to ourselves, our self-worth gets chipped away and chipped away. How many times, myself included, how many times have we said, I'm going to work out? I'm going to work out today. and it doesn't happen. Or I'm going to sit my butt in the chair and I'm going to get ahead on work and it doesn't happen. Right. In January of 2023, I made a commitment to myself that I was going to lift weights 3 times a week. I am not a self-motivated person in that way. Although I wasn't, I am now. It took over a year. And so I hired a trainer. I hired a trainer to come to my house and make me move, force me to do the work 3 times a week because I didn't want to break a promise to myself. And I needed that level of accountability. So there's nothing wrong with investing in accountability in order to keep your word. Right? That's the beauty of coaching. That's the beauty of accountability, is that we all need it. And so it would be really helpful if you were to look at your own life and say, okay, where am I breaking promises to myself? Am I not prioritizing my priorities? Right? There's an amazing quote that I love by the author Robin Sharma. And it says, show me your calendar, show me your schedule, and I'll show you your priorities. And so if your work, that, your online coaching program, your online business, if it's not scheduled in, it's not a priority. And so we want to be able to keep promises to ourselves, because then we can behave with integrity. Then we can move forward in a way that we are proud of, and we can stand up authentically and say, this is who I am, and I'm committed to this. I am committed to my outcome of success. I am committed to my clients. And you can't really say that you are committed if you are breaking promises to yourself. So that is absolutely one of the success mindset traits that I see with the clients that I work with. 4, I already said it. Act in the way now that your future self will be proud of, because in the moment, it's difficult sometimes to act in a way that your future self would be proud of. But if you are constantly thinking about having integrity, and if you are thinking about being an emotionally regulated person, and you do the work to become an emotionally regulated person, then you can absolutely act in a future self in a way that your future self would be proud of most of the time. Again, am I perfect? No. Are there times where I lose my shit on my kids? Yep, because I'm human. Are there times where I take it a little too far with the team and I have to sort of walk it back? At the beginning of me being a leader, absolutely. Not so much anymore, because I've learned my limitations and I want to act in a way that my future self is proud of. So that goes with keeping promises to yourself, right? That goes with keeping promises to yourself, but it also speaks to doing the work to become more emotionally regulated, so that when you have a reaction, as you will, because not every day is awesome, right? Not every day is great. There's going to be things that happen in the course of your workday that are irritating, that are maddening. And the goal is to be emotionally regulated enough that you're able to act in a way that your future self would be proud. The next one, number 5, seek support and invest in support. So this is what we were talking about when I said I hired a personal trainer to come to my house 3 times a week. It took me a long time to admit to myself that I can't do it on my own. It took a long time that, I joined a gym, I joined a yoga studio, and I was just like, why can't I follow through on this? Like, what's my deal? And then I said to myself, how do I end my own suffering with this? Because it didn't feel great that I consistently made promises and broke them to myself, broke them. It didn't feel great that I kept saying, I'll start again on Monday, and then not doing it. So I said, okay, what do I need, given who I am, given my life, given my capacity, right? What do I need? I need someone who's going to come here, and I need an appointment, and I need to be held accountable to it. Even leaving my house felt like too much effort, right? So I was like, okay, how do I do this in a way that I can consistently move forward with? Now, you might, not, money aside, being able to afford accountability aside, because I realize that I am sitting in a privileged place, because I have decided to create this level of wealth for myself, that I'm able to afford to have somebody come in 3 times a week to force me to lift heavy things. And that was a very intentional choice. So seek support, invest in support when and where you can. I think the idea isn't so much the money part of it. The idea is to get very truthful with yourself, to get real with yourself so that you stop breaking promises, so that you can follow through, so that you can say, oh, this is really who I am. And I just need this level of help and support because otherwise I'm just never going to do it. And to surrender to that, right? This is who I am. I am someone who needs that level of accountability. I want to do it. It's not that I don't want to. I really want to. And while I'm doing it, I enjoy it. But I don't have capacity for that level of self-motivation. So I think that's really important, to get very honest with yourself and to seek support and invest in support. And then the next one would be surround yourself with like-minded people. Starting and growing a coaching business can feel very isolating. It can feel lonely. It can feel like you're doing it all wrong. And when you don't have people who are going through similar scenarios as you, who are in a similar life situation as you, it does feel very isolating because nobody else really understands the level of self-imposed pressure that we put on ourselves and the visceral desire to serve. People don't understand that. And so when you are bumping up against the unfamiliar and the uncomfortable all day long, every day, because you're doing things that you've never done before for the very first time, like webinars, like Facebook Lives, like writing copy, like enrollment calls, like dealing with angry clients, right? And you don't have an outlet to get support. You don't have an outlet to get feedback. You don't have a community of peers, colleagues, friends, we call them business besties, that can say, you're okay, you're not a bad person, you're doing a good job, and understand all of the feelings that are involved in doing what you're doing. It's very difficult. So one of the things that we provide inside of Zero to Clients, and even in my high level mastermind, is that level of community and that level of culture, because it alleviates the loneliness and it makes it more fun. When you have people that you can go to and commiserate with and celebrate with, it makes the journey so much more enjoyable. I mean, solo traveling is okay, but imagine solo traveling and never talking to another person, right? So that would be very difficult to do. And so you want to, one of the success traits is find people that you like, that have similar core values to you, and that are in the same season of growth, business-wise, mindset-wise as you. And then the last one is get very honest about your identity, your self-identity. And what that really means is the words that follow, I am. So if you hear yourself saying all the time, I am overwhelmed, I am so stressed, I am so busy, whatever those negative words are, that is your identity. So if you identify as someone who is constantly overwhelmed and constantly stressed and constantly busy, then it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's normal to me that you're not going to get very far because there's no space, right? There's no space for you to get far because you're overwhelmed, right? Because you're stressed, because you're busy. And so your identity is what follows I am. So mine that I've worked very hard on, I am a person of integrity. I'm a person who takes radical responsibility. I'm a person who enjoys a full schedule, right? Not I'm busy. I enjoy a full schedule, right? And full for me probably means something different than what full would be for you, right? I like having a full schedule. I like having things scheduled into my day, one after the other, and then I like having free time. I am a person who lifts heavy things. I am someone who moves my body, right? I am a present mother. And so these are all identities that I have identified that I want to be like, that I have worked hard to integrate into my personality over time, so that that is just my natural way of operating. And so really look at your identity, look at the beliefs that you have, look at the behaviors that you have, and label them and say, wow, like this is not serving me, right? Like I need to change this part of my identity. Another part that I've worked on is, part of my story was like, I'm a single mom, right? I'm a single mom, I'm alone. And I was like, no, like I'm just unmarried. Like the connotation was that anyway, I had to change that identity because I was like, I don't feel like that. I don't feel like a victim. I don't feel alone. I don't feel unsupported, right? I'm a mom who is unmarried. And that feels so much better to me because the identity of the single mom really felt victimy to me. And maybe it doesn't to others, but that's okay. But I had to really work on that. Like, yes, I am unmarried. Yes, I'm an unmarried mother. So I hope these success strategies help you. I hope that you're able to see some ways that you can up-level your mindset and work on your identity and work on your priorities so that you are able to execute consistently at a higher level. And again, if this is helpful for you, make sure that you subscribe and click the bell, and I will see you real soon. Bye for now.